Super Bowl Sunday, and here on Jersey Magazine on our Greetings from the Garden State segment, we're talking football, but not the kind of football that you think, right, Mike?
That's right. American soccer, European football, but New Jersey youth soccer specifically. So we had a chance to go to their awards banquet back on January 31st. It was a great night. We had a lot of players, goal of the year, save of the year, some other players from teams that, won recognitions and stuff, and some legendary Jersey soccer players that joined us on the show as well. And it was just honestly, when I told my fiance that I was going to go to a youth soccer banquet, she was like, "What on earth are you doing now?" But there was over 1,000 people at this event, and it was incredible. Such a great job.
Tell us about the organization.
So New Jersey Youth Soccer is the New Jersey chapter of U.S. Soccer, and essentially what they do is they help organize youth soccer across the state. So from top to bottom, most youth soccer leagues some have some connection to New Jersey Youth Soccer, and they are working right now in tandem with the FIFA World Cup host committees, across the country and all the different cities. Those specific chapters are working with U.S. Soccer and the host committees to help promote the game to specifically in Jersey. Obviously we have the games being played at MetLife, the final being played at MetLife. So we got to have Lauren LaRusso on the show. We had her on the show last year when we did some stuff with the World Cup, but she was at the event, so she joined us for a little bit. And the CEO of U.S. Soccer, Skip, he's coming from us from Texas, so he was there as well to kind of talk about U.S. soccer as a whole, but really just kind of give kids a chance to play, and give them access to soccer and exposure to it and growing the game from the ground up.
One of the things about soccer that is so appealing is that you don't need a lot of equipment. You have a ball, you get a
That's right.
goal, and a field to play it on. Unlike baseball or unlike basketball, where you need to have access to a court and a basketball hoop. And I think the fact that kids of all ages can get involved in some level. It's obviously a very difficult game to play at the highest levels,
Sure.
but at the younger levels, when you're starting out, unlike baseball, which is very unforgiving, as you and I both know. Soccer is far more forgiving for young athletes.
Yeah, it's one of those games like you look at games you could play when you start to get, past your prime and you just want to like stay active. I mean, I know a bunch of guys my age and older that play, in a Sunday soccer league, and the way that there is basically no barrier to entry, just like find a patch of grass and a ball and you're good. I was actually just reading an article the other day about why hockey is sometimes having a hard time growing in the United States. And it's because, as a kid, you're going to spend like 2 grand every year on just equipment. And that's not even including ice time and all this other stuff. But yeah, there is a very low barrier to entry, but obviously like it is a very difficult game to master and be a very approachable game at the same time because you could, not that you can just like show up and do it, but you can still have some athleticism and do some things. And, I remember we talked about stuff recruiting with baseball and all that. We loved soccer players because they just have like a different awareness of their body and their feet and, eye, foot, awareness and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely a game that the most popular game in the world. Let's be real. In the United States, it's growing for sure. And I think that's it because it's easy to play. It's easy to get involved with. And, like I said, low barrier to entry and it's a game for everybody.
When I'm working with young players, and in fact, I just have been doing some lessons with 7-year-olds this past week, and they were actually pretty good. But one of the things I'll ask them is, what part of your body do you play defense with? And they'll give me all kinds of answers, hands, head, chest, whatever. And then I'll ask them, do you play another sport? And for the ones who play soccer, I ask them, what part of your body do you play defense with? And they can't say hands unless they're the goalie.
Yeah.
And it starts to
Right.
click. You use your feet. You play defense with
Yeah.
your feet. And soccer really reinforces that sense of movement.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's just, like you see too, like, especially with the people that we had on the show when we did this episode at the banquet. So we had 4 or 5 different segments with different groups of people that came through, whether they were players, whether they were, adults. We had three players who are actually all from Kearney. Apparently, Kearney is like a hotbed for soccer talent. I did not know that, but I know that now. Tab Ramos, Tony Miola, and John Harkes, all World Cup players, multiple World Cup players, Olympians, all out of Kearney. They all played together, in high school. So they were probably such a pain in the butt to deal with, for other soccer teams, back then. But just like it's a game that seems to really stay with people. And then guys like that want to continue to come back and come up from Florida, come out from Connecticut, just to be there for this awards banquet and be able to connect with kids and, help grow the game, and that to me is really cool to see, because you have people that played at the highest level that you possibly could get in soccer, and then all the way down, through kids. And then the kids are talking about, one of the players we had on was the goal of the year, and just talk like how he was talking about the play and how he kicked it and like his whole awareness of the game itself. And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but this sounds awesome. Like I need to learn more, kind of thing.
So we were talking just at the very start about American football, which we mentioned it very briefly. Who do you like in tonight's game?
Listen, it's hard. I think you would be dumb to go against the Chiefs at this point. They're just too good. They have that winning pedigree now. Not getting into all the other, shenanigans that everyone else seems to get into, but you have the best quarterback and the best coach. You're in a good position. It's like back in the day when people would bet against the Patriots, kind of thing. This is a similar situation. And being a North Jersey guy, I mean, how could you root for the Eagles at all? So, whatever.
It's
So I
not
guess go
lost on me,
Chiefs.
by the way,
Yeah,
that both of these coaches and Philadelphia fans, one of them fired at some point or another.
yeah. I mean, that's Philly, baby. But listen. I mean, I just hope I like for the world. I almost said the World Cup, for the Super Bowl. I just need some cold beers and some hot wings, and we are good to go. And I just want a good game, and I think it's going to be. So we'll be good.
Before I let you go, I got an email a few days ago talking about someone being named a New Jersey influencer power list guy. Who might that
That's
be?
right. That would be me. Definitely took me by surprise because there's some people on that list like Governor Murphy and all the way down, people that actually have some influence and power. But it just kind of, my friend who's in PR sent it over to me. He's like, "Oh, hey, congratulations!" And it was a really cool thing to. I didn't know that it was going to happen, and got named a ROINJ was the publication, the Power Influencer List of 2025 for the PR Marketing and Communications group. And just to be in the same breath with some of the people that are on that list is really, it's humbling for sure. And just, it shows, at least in my mind, that the stuff that we're doing is resonating with people. And I'm very proud of that. And just having, this weekly spot with you, I'm sure put me over the hump,
Well, you can check on all the stuff that Mike was talking about that they do at greetingsfromthegardenstate.com. Thanks, Mike, and congratulations.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.